Welcome back to episode 3, season 2, 15 for the Math Challenged. I'm here with David J. Russ. The important question we all want to know is, what's the J for?
Don't drop the J.
All right, don't drop the J.
Actually, it's Jeremy, because my mom wanted to name my brother Chad, and I was going to be Jeremy, so it was going to be Chad and Jeremy.
Chad, oh, that would have been so cool.
I know, but it didn't work out. My brother got 2 middle names, Todd John.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know why that happened.
All right. So you've been around the Twin Cities music industry for a while now.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into it? And let's start with that. How'd you get into
the scene? I went to the U, and I was hanging out, and I started working at Ralph and Jerry's.
Okay.
You remember that grocery store there? I don't know what it's called now.
Was it right on Washington?
It was right next to Positively 4th Street there.
Oh, okay.
Literally on 4th Street.
Yep.
And Jerry Lefkowitz worked there.
Oh, okay.
And he was in the band Something Fierce, which you may recall.
Yep.
And I was hanging out with Jerry, and we had a good time working there. It was a lot of fun. And we always joked that our first date was going to see the Northern Lights, because he's like, "You got a car, don't you?" Jerry did not drive at that point.
Okay.
And I think he wore it as a badge of honor, but the rest of us wore it as a badge of burden. But no, he's like, the Northern Lights are killing. We got to go up there. I'm like, where? And he's like, the golf course on Central. Which one's that?
Columbia.
Columbia, yeah. Went up to Columbia. So went up there and hung out, saw that. And we're just talking about music and stuff, and he's telling me about Something Fierce. I'm like, well, I could run sound for you guys. And that's when Eric Tretbar was the drummer.
Oh, okay.
So I ran sound for them for about a year, and got to know a bunch of people. And then Eric went to film school at NYU.
Yeah.
They're like, well, do you want to play drums with us? And this has happened several times in my career where I'd be like on the outskirts of stuff.
Okay.
And then kind of like weaseling my way in. But with that, we literally had one rehearsal, and I'd already been running sound for them. So I knew all the stuff.
You knew the songs.
So we had one rehearsal, and we played our first gig at Fernando's.
Okay.
Which I think was October 87, I want to say. Yeah, so that kind of got me in there. And then, Something Fierce was great.
Okay.
It was super fun. It was just the 3 of us, Jeff and Jerry and me.
Yep.
Learned a lot from those guys. They were just great songwriters. I don't know if anybody's heard that stuff, but...
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's out there somewhere. You could probably ask Jerry where it is.
Okay.
And so learned a lot from those guys. Then the crossover from that was into Holiday Ranch.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that was with Eric Newman, who was also in Limited Warranty.
Okay.
And that went for about 10 years. And then the crossover from the end of that was the Dust Bunnies, and that was the same situation where I'd run sound for the Dust Bunny a ton of times.
Okay.
Because in the 90s there, I was the house guy at the 400 bar. Too.
Right.
And that was me, Rich Matson, and Scott Allen.
Yeah.
Were the house guys at the 400 bar.
That's a pretty good trio of sound guys.
Yes, with subbing with Jay Perlman was one of the subs.
Okay.
So it was like pretty much crack team of people, and we had a lot of fun. Of course, I think we were making $30 a night, minus taxes, so we'd clear $27. It's ridiculous, but we had fun. And Billy Severkison was the manager.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Billy.
Yep.
So he was great. He was like a big brother to me.
Okay.
We had a lot of fun, but I met a lot of people there. That was the hugest thing.
Yeah.
And the Dust Bunnies thing, I was running sound for them, and then it was like their drummer quit right before their CD release.
Okay.
So I ended up being on the CD release party of a CD that I didn't play on.
Okay.
And then went forward with that. So all my life, there's kind of these overlaps of bands I was in, working to the next thing, and it was never like a conscious decision. It was just like kind of being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we start to explore all your current projects, because there's several of them.
There's a lot.
So the sound engineer side of things. Our topic for discussion this week, or this month, excuse me, is favorite sounding room. Now, other than the fact that the best sounding rooms are the ones you're working.
That was my bit.
I know it was. I stole it.
You stole my bit.
Do you have a favorite room?
That's really funny. It's funny because all the rooms have challenges.
Right.
And a lot of it stems from the fact that, the architecture isn't pure. A lot of them are retrofitted old buildings that were not maybe designed for, loud volume rock and roll or whatever. The Turf's a perfect example of that.
Okay.
Swing band in the 40s probably sounded amazing in there.
Yeah.
But I think they're all capable and they're all able to sound good. I think it really does come down to the person.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest challenge for that too, and it's funny because you had Bill Batson on here a few weeks back when Jenny, my wife, was on here. He was one of those people that taught me. And I think but with the possible exception of Lauren Wicklander, there's not a lot of the old guard, me included, and I'm kind of, guilty of not doing this is helping some of the younger people learn the stuff.
Okay.
Because I feel like there needs to be better training maybe.
Okay.
For the younger guard coming up. But I still meet some great guys. Who's the kid at the schooner the other day?
Oh yeah, Woody.
Woody, he's great.
Good kid. Good
kid,
sound.
Sharp. And for me, it's like, at least they're trying.
Yeah.
Work hard, try.
Yep.
Learn as you go. I mean, sound is like anything else. First of all, you have to have an aptitude for it, but you got to put in your 10,000 hours.
Right.
And then if there's challenges with the rooms, you have to figure out what those are.
Yeah.
And how to leapfrog over that.
Is technology... I used to say technology ruined the graphic arts because then everyone thought they could fix everything with technology rather than putting the skill behind it to take a good photograph or design a good page.
Because
Let's
they
just
don't
fix
understand,
it later.
Because they don't understand like white balance and all the other stuff that you used to have to know.
Right.
I think there's a little bit of that, but the thing that digital boards, and believe me, I was a holdout on digital boards. I didn't buy one myself until long after they were here.
Okay.
And a lot of that was me going, no, I like what I have. But once I did it and once I adopted it, I was like, no, this is great. And it's great for convenience.
Yeah.
The fact that I can store every band I ever work with in my board.
Yeah.
And in 5 minutes be ready to, as long as I plug it in the right spot, plug each thing in the right hole.
You're ready to go.
You're ready to go, or at least close to ready to go.
Okay.
And that's another thing that's a little surprising to me. And when I walk into a club and I'll ask the house guy, can you just put up the settings you have for the monitors? And they'll go, I don't have one. And I'm like, well, this is a digital board. Why wouldn't you, if you work here every day, why wouldn't you have taken your vocal mic and your EQ and ring out your monitors that are here all the time and save it as ground zero for somebody that's walking in to start? It's a multi-layered thing, obviously, and there's a lot of variables and there's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
And, it's also what's the band pushing off the stage?
Right.
If you got a drummer that's playing 10 times louder than he should be, you're kind of at the mercy.
Yeah.
So
tell us about your studio. So you've got that set up. And
yeah, I've had a studio for like 34 years.
Okay.
It's called It's a Secret.
Okay.
People always ask me if that's a joke. It is. It's very Who's on First.
Uh-huh.
The bit was, Dave, tell me the name of your studio. It's a secret. No, what's the name of you can tell me. I'm telling you it's a secret.
It's a secret. Yeah,
Yes.
very, very Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, I don't do a ton of music projects like I used to.
Okay.
And COVID kind of shut that down too. I do post-production mixing, so I do stuff for, corporate mixing.
Yep.
I do enjoy that.
Okay.
It's something that's in and out. Deadline's Friday. You turn it in. They're not calling you 2 weeks later going, can I turn up the snare in the third chorus?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you don't have to worry about it. But, so I kind of handpick music projects. I'm in the middle of a couple things right now. There's a band called The Long Honeymoons. Have you seen them?
Okay. No, I haven't.
The Long Honeymoon. They're really cool. It's a amalgamation of a couple different artists I've worked with.
Okay.
I'm still working on my wife's EP, and that she's going to kill me because it's not done yet after several years. But COVID kind of derailed the music thing.
Sure.
But also the main thing we do over there is rehearsals. It's a big enough space that I have a lot of people ask me about rehearsals because people don't have a big enough space to have 20 people in their room to rehearse.
Right.
Or, my wife doesn't want all my friends coming over here making noise. Or we have a 4-year-old that doesn't want to put up with it. Or whatever the issues are,
Right.
So that's been great. And when we built the new place, I just said to Jenny, we just want to build a place where, us and our friends can do our art for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
It has been great.
Good.
And I feel really lucky because I'm a guy that's never planned out anything in my life.
Yeah.
But it really helps, that Jenny knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And she's really good with money, which I am not. So that definitely helps.
That's an important consideration.
Yeah, it is. If you're, trying to run a business.
Oh, yeah.
And, like I said, I would just spend it all on gear I don't need.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you're with the Dan Israel Band.
I've been with Dan a long time.
Yeah.
24 years.
Wow. So was it the Cultivators when you joined? Or
It was, Dan Israel and the Cultivators. And it was, I did a gig. His drummer quit before his guitar player. There was a big blow up. Do you know the story, Mill City blow up?
I don't.
Mill City, Dan calls Forever in Blue Jeans, and the guitar player's like, I'm not going to fucking play that. And like half the band quits that gig because of one song. And I'm just like, that's ridiculous. So then me and a new bass player joined, Chris Bowering, who lives in North Carolina now. That's pre-Mike Lane.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been playing a long time. But before that, me and Rich Mattson split recording that record before we met.
Oh, okay.
So we did half and half on that one.
All right.
And I think that's when Rich was in his studio in Northeast before he'd moved back up to Sparta.
Yeah.
So I'd already knew Dan really well. I'd met him at the 400 bar. And that was the one thing for me, getting to know people working at the 400 bar. I'd always go up to him. Oh, you're great. You're great. Have you recorded yet? Like, that was totally like my in with so many people. Like, you should come and record with me. Like, I totally wormed my way into so much shit that way.
Oh, that's perfect.
It was
that's
so much.
Perfect.
I was 20 something and I didn't care about anything except doing this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll know.
You'll know. Yeah.
And you've got a gig coming up.
We had a gig last night.
Yes.
You missed it.
Yes.
So,
and
then we're playing in July at the Hook.
Okay.
With Scott Allen's. It's a duo or a doubleheader with Scott Allen's Talking Heads band.
Oh, Slippery People.
Yeah, Slippery People. So that'll be a total hoot.
Okay.
So people can come to that.
Yeah.
And then Absolutely Fab with my wife, Jenny Russ, and Katie Vernon.
Katie Vernon, and Jenny Case.
And Jenny Case, Simon Husbands, and Rod Smith, and John Hunt. So it's like, that band is the most fun.
Well, and selling out huge spaces everywhere. It's a phenomenon.
Well, it's ridiculous because the music's so great, we don't have to do anything.
Right.
We just do it, recreate it to the best of our ability, and we have fun doing it.
Yeah.
And I joke that it's poker night for us because except everybody wins. Nobody loses.
Everyone goes home with.
Yeah, it's great. It's so much fun.
Why don't we go through upcoming David shows?
Oh, can I get out my notes?
Please do.
This is how bad my memory is. If it's not on my calendar right in front of me, I can't remember. Friday, the 12th, Steeple Center in Rosemount. Still some tickets left. Saturday the 13th, Pioneer Place at St. Cloud.
Okay, and these
are absolutely
fabulous.
Saturday,
shows.
September 14th, Freight House in Stillwater. That's 3 gigs in a row. Now here's the killer. My wife Jenny didn't know that she booked a Saddle Shores show Sunday morning at Hell's Kitchen. She's got 4 gigs in a row in 3 days, which is going to kill her, even though it's very David Russ circa 1996 to do that. And then we're playing the 21st at Hewing Hotel, but it's inside.
Oh, okay.
And then we're doing one this summer outside, too. Dylan in the band with Dan Israel.
Yep.
The 19th at the Hook.
Okay.
This month. And then May 3rd, Jenny and I are participating at Crooners with Retro Fizz, doing singing a couple Bacharach songs.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And I get to sing, always something that to remind me.
Any final thoughts you want to leave us with?
I don't know.
Okay. We look forward to seeing all those shows. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys. Woo!